The metal ship floated quietly in the dark space above a small blue planet. Inside the ship, Captain Vex walked around looking at different cages. Each cage held a different creature. Some were small, some were large. All of them looked scared and confused. Vex was happy with his work today. He had collected 17 creatures from different worlds. His job was simple. Go to planets where the people did not have space travel yet. Take some of their people. Bring them back to the research stations. Scientists would study them. It was legal work. The Krellian Empire had done this for many years. His second officer walked up to him. Her name was Zal. She held a small computer in her hands. She looked at the screen and then at Vex. Captain, all the creatures are in the cages. The list is complete. We can leave now and go to the research station, Zal said. Vex nodded. He did not look at the list carefully. This was normal work for him. He had done this hundreds of times before. Take creatures from primitive planets. Deliver them to scientists. Get paid, simple, good, start the engines. Let us go home, Vex said. What Vex did not know was that he had made a terrible mistake. One of the creatures in the cages was special. Very special. It came from a planet that was marked with warning signs in the big galactic computer. A planet that every smart space captain avoided. The creature was a small girl. She had brown hair and pale skin. Her name was Katie. She was 7 years old. She was human. The problem was that Vex's computer was old. Very old. It had not been updated in 30 years. The information about Earth and humans was not in his computer. So when his ship's scanner looked at Katie, it just saw another primitive creature. The scanner did not know she was human. The scanner did not know that taking her was the worst mistake Vex would ever make. Katie woke up in a cold metal cage. She was confused. The last thing she remembered was playing in her backyard. She was building a fort with sticks and leaves. Then there was a bright light. Then nothing. Now she was here in this strange cold place. She looked around. There were other cages near her. Strange creatures were in those cages. They did not look like any animals she had seen before. Some had too many eyes. Some had strange skin. Some made weird sounds. Katie started to cry. She wanted her mom. She wanted her dad. She wanted to go home. She did not understand what was happening. She was just a little girl who wanted her parents. Mommy, she called out softly. Daddy, where are you? But her parents were not there. They were far away on Earth. And they had just discovered that Katie was missing. Katie's father, Ryan, had gone to check on her in the backyard. He found her fort. He found her toys. But Katie was gone. He called for her, no answer. He looked everywhere in the yard. No Katie. He ran inside and asked his wife, Jenny, if Katie had come inside. Jenny said no. That was when the fear started. Ryan called the police. Within minutes, police cars arrived at their house. Officers searched the neighborhood. They knocked on doors. They asked questions. Nobody had seen Katie. Within 1 hour, more people arrived. These were not regular police. They wore black suits and had serious faces. They were from the government. They had special equipment. They started scanning the backyard with strange devices. One of the agents, a woman named Carol, found something. She called her boss over. They looked at the readings on their device. Their faces went pale. We have an alien signature, Carol said quietly. Someone took the girl. Someone from off-planet. The other agent, a man named Peter, immediately pulled out a special phone. He made a call. The person who answered was very important. Peter spoke quickly. Code red. We have an abduction. Human child. Alien involvement confirmed. Age 7, female, name Katie Harrison. The voice on the other end said something. Peter's face became even more serious. Yes, sir. I understand. Initiating full response protocol. Peter turned to Ryan and Jenny. They were crying, holding each other, terrified for their daughter. Mr. and Mrs. Harrison, I need you to listen to me very carefully. We know what happened to Katie. She was taken by aliens, but we are going to get her back. I promise you that. Ryan stared at the agent. Aliens? What are you talking about? Aliens are not real. They are real, Mr. Harrison. And your government has known about them for 20 years. We have been keeping it secret. But right now, that does not matter. What matters is getting Katie back. And we will. The entire military is being activated as we speak. Jenny grabbed Peter's arm. Where is she? Where did they take her? We are tracking them now. We have ways to follow their ship. Mrs. Harrison, I know this is hard to believe, but we have been preparing for something like this. We have ships. We have weapons. We have trained people, and we are going to bring your daughter home. Far above Earth, in a secret military station hidden behind the moon, alarms were going off. Lights flashed red. Soldiers ran to their posts. Ships that had been sitting quietly in hangars suddenly came to life. Admiral Jacob stood in the command room. He was reading the report on his screen. A 7-year-old girl, taken from her backyard, taken by aliens who did not know what they had done. Jacob picked up his communicator. He spoke to all the ships at once. This is Admiral Jacob to all fleet vessels. We have a code red situation. A human child has been taken off-world. All ships are to prepare for immediate deployment. I repeat, all ships prepare for immediate deployment. We launch in 30 minutes. All across the hidden base, 200 warships began powering up. These ships were built using technology that Earth had received from friendly aliens. They were fast. They were powerful. They were armed with weapons that could destroy entire space stations. But more importantly, they were crewed by humans. And humans had one rule that every alien in the galaxy knew about. You do not touch human children. Ever. The aliens who took Katie did not know this rule. Their computer was too old. They did not have the updated information. They did not know that Earth was a protected planet. They did not know that humans were classified as the most dangerous species in the galaxy when their children were in danger. They were about to learn. On the alien ship, Vex sat in his captain's chair. He was drinking something warm and thinking about what he would buy with the money from this job. He was thinking about taking a vacation, maybe visiting the pleasure moons of Zephyr, maybe buying a new ship. He had no idea that 200 human warships were preparing to hunt him down. He had no idea that he had started something that would change galactic history. He had no idea that every second he kept Katie on his ship, he was getting closer to his own death. In her cage, Katie had stopped crying. She was tired. She was scared. But she was also brave. Her father had always told her to be brave when she was scared. So she sat in the corner of her cage and hugged her knees and tried to be brave. She did not know that help was coming. She did not know that her father and thousands of other humans were preparing to cross the galaxy to save her. She just knew that she wanted to go home. Soon she would. Admiral Korth was having a quiet evening in his quarters. He was a tall alien with 3 eyes and blue skin. He had served in the Galactic Union Defense Force for 40 years. He had seen many things, wars, peace treaties, first contacts with new species. He thought he had seen everything. Then his communicator started flashing red. Not yellow, not orange, red, the highest alert level. The level that meant something very bad had happened. Korth grabbed the device and read the message. His 3 eyes went wide. His mouth opened in shock. For a moment he could not move. He just stared at the screen. A human child had been taken. Korth had been there 20 years ago when Earth first made contact with the galactic community. He remembered the meetings, the discussions, the debates about what to do with this new species. Humans were strange. They were emotional. They were aggressive. But they were also clever and determined. The Galactic Union had decided to accept humans, but with strict rules. One rule was more important than all the others. Nobody was allowed to take humans from Earth without permission. And most importantly, nobody was ever allowed to take human children. The reason was simple. Humans became very dangerous when their children were in danger, not just a little dangerous. Extremely dangerous, the kind of dangerous that made entire civilizations disappear. Korth immediately called his senior officers. Within 5 minutes, they were all in the conference room. They all looked worried. They had all read the same message. "Tell me someone has found the ship that took the child," Korth said. Commander Vex, the intelligence officer, brought up a hologram. It showed a map of space with a moving dot. "Yes, Admiral. The ship is a Krellian harvester. Registration number KV7734. They took the child from Earth 3 hours ago. They are currently traveling through hyperspace toward Research Station Omega-12. Have they been told what they have done?" Korth asked. "Not yet, Admiral. We waited for your orders." Korth stood up and walked to the window. Outside he could see stars and distant galaxies. Somewhere out there, a Krellian captain had no idea how much danger he was in. "Contact them immediately and open a channel to Earth. Maybe we can stop this before it gets worse." A young officer named Sora looked up from her station. She was the communications expert. Her face was pale. "Admiral, we are already receiving messages from Earth. Many messages. They are demanding information about the child. They want to know where she is. They want to know who took her." "Tell them we are handling the situation," Korth said. Sora's hands were shaking as she worked on her computer. "Admiral, there is something else. I am detecting unusual activity in the Earth solar system. Their military is moving. All of their ships are powering up." The room became silent. Everyone stopped what they were doing. They all looked at Sora. "How many ships?" Korth asked slowly. "All of them, Admiral. Every single warship, every fighter, every support vessel. They are all preparing to leave Earth. I count 200 warships total." Commander Vex pulled up information on human military capabilities. He read it out loud. "Human ships are not as advanced as ours, but their weapons are very powerful. They use nuclear missiles, plasma cannons, and railguns. Their ships are built for war. And according to intelligence reports, humans do not follow normal military tactics. They are unpredictable, aggressive. They take risks that other species would never take." Korth felt cold. He had studied human history when they first made contact. He had read about their wars. World War I, World War II, Vietnam, Iraq, Afghanistan. Humans had been fighting wars for thousands of years. They were very good at it. But what scared Korth most was not their weapons or their tactics. It was their determination. Humans did not give up. Ever. When they set a goal, they achieved it or died trying. And right now their goal was to get one little girl back. "Open a channel to the Krellian ship," Korth ordered. "Priority 1. Emergency frequency. They need to know what they have done." Sora worked quickly. After a moment, she nodded. "Channel open, Admiral." Korth took a deep breath. He had to make the Krellian captain understand. He had to make him realize how much danger he was in. "This is Admiral Korth of the Galactic Union. Defense Force, I am sending this message to the Krellian vessel, KV-7734. You have committed a serious crime. You have taken a human child from Earth. You need to return that child immediately." He paused, trying to find the right words. "Captain, I do not think you understand what you have done. Humans are not like other species. When their children are threatened, they become extremely dangerous. Right now, the entire human fleet is preparing to come after you. 200 warships, thousands of soldiers. All of them have one goal: get that child back, and they will not stop until they do." Korth looked at his officers. They were all watching him, waiting. "You have maybe 4 hours before they reach you. I am sending you coordinates to the nearest Union station. Go there, give us the child. We will return her to Earth safely. If you do this, we can protect you. If you do not, then nothing in this galaxy can save you from what is coming." He ended the transmission and sat down heavily in his chair. His officers looked at him. "Do you think he will listen?" Commander Vex asked. "I hope so," Korth said quietly. "For his sake, I really hope so." At that moment, Sora spoke again. Her voice was barely a whisper. "Admiral, the human fleet just jumped. They are gone from Earth space. They are heading toward the Krellian ship." "How fast are they moving?" Korth asked. "Faster than they should be able to. They are pushing their engines beyond safe limits. At this speed, they will reach the Krellian ship in 4 hours. Korth closed his eyes. 4 hours. That was all the time the Krellian captain had to fix his mistake. 4 hours to save his own life and the lives of his crew. On Earth, Ryan and Jenny sat in their living room. Government agents were still in their house. Equipment was everywhere. People were talking on phones and computers. Agent Carol came over to them. She sat down and spoke gently. "Mr. and Mrs. Harrison, I want to update you. Our fleet has located the ship that took Katie. They are pursuing it now. We expect to intercept them within 4 hours." Jenny grabbed Carol's hand. "Is she okay?" "Is Katie okay?" "We believe so. The Galactic Union has confirmed that the aliens who took her did not mean to harm her. They thought Earth was a primitive planet. They did not know we were protected. They did not know taking Katie would cause this response." Ryan stood up and walked to the window. He looked up at the night sky. Somewhere up there, his daughter was scared and alone. Somewhere up there, aliens had her in a cage. "I want to go with them," Ryan said. "I want to be on one of those ships." Carol stood up and walked over to him. "Mr. Harrison, you are actually cleared for that. Your military record shows you served in the Marines. You have combat training. If you want to go, we can arrange it." Ryan turned to look at his wife. Jenny was crying, but she nodded. Go, Jenny said. Bring our baby home. 20 minutes later, Ryan was on a transport heading up to the moon base. He was given a uniform. He was given weapons. He was assigned to the flagship, the Retribution. As the transport flew through space, Ryan looked out the window. He could see Earth getting smaller behind him. He could see the moon ahead. And beyond that, he could see the stars where his daughter was waiting. He was coming for her. They all were, and nothing in the universe was going to stop them. Captain Vex was eating his dinner when his communicator started beeping. Then it beeped again, and again. Soon it was beeping constantly. Messages were flooding in from everywhere. The first message was from the Galactic Union. The second was from the Krellian Empire Central Command. The third was from his own company headquarters. All three messages had the same level of urgency. Maximum priority. Emergency. Respond immediately. Vex dropped his food and ran to the bridge. His crew was already there, looking confused and scared. Sal was standing at her station, staring at her screen. What is happening? Vex demanded. Sal turned to look at him. Her face was pale. Her hands were shaking. Captain, we have a priority message from Admiral Korth of the Galactic Union Defense Force. He says it is about one of our specimens, the small biped we collected from Sector 7. What about it? Vex asked. Sal swallowed hard. Captain, they are saying it is a human child. They are saying we took a human from Earth. Vex felt like he had been hit in the stomach. For a moment, he could not breathe. A human. He had taken a human. That was impossible. His scanners would have warned him. His computer would have flagged it. Check the database, Vex said quickly. Check when we last updated our species registry. Zal worked on her computer. After a moment, she looked up. Captain, our last update was 30 years ago. Earth was registered as a protected planet 20 years ago. Our system does not have that information. Vex sat down in his captain's chair. He felt dizzy. He had made a terrible mistake. He had been lazy. He had not updated his systems. And now he had done the one thing that every space captain feared. He had taken a human child. Every captain knew the stories about humans. They were famous across the galaxy. Humans were protective of their young in ways that other species could barely understand. Take a human child and the entire human race became your enemy. There was no negotiation, no mercy, no forgiveness. Play the message from Admiral Korth, Vex said quietly. The screen flickered and Admiral Korth appeared. The alien looked serious and worried. Captain Vexnari, I am going to be very direct with you. You have made a serious mistake. You have taken a human child from Earth. The human military has been notified. Their entire fleet is now pursuing your vessel. You have approximately 4 hours before they reach you. Korth leaned forward, his 3 eyes focused intently. You need to understand something. Humans are classified as a Tier 1 protective species. This is not because they are weak. It is because of what they become when their children are threatened. They will not stop hunting you. They will not negotiate. They will not accept payment or apology. They want their child back and they will destroy anyone who stands in their way. Vex tried to speak, but his voice came out as a whisper. Surely we can discuss this. The child is unharmed. We can return her and pay compensation. The message was pre-recorded so Korth could not hear him. The Admiral continued speaking. I am sending you coordinates to the nearest Galactic Union station. Go there immediately. Turn over the child to our custody. We will return her to Earth safely. If you cooperate, the Union will offer you protection. If you do not cooperate, then I cannot help you. No one can, the message ended. The screen went dark. Vex sat in silence. His crew was looking at him, waiting for orders. Pull up everything we have on humans, Vex said. I need to understand what we are dealing with. Zal worked quickly. Information began appearing on the main screen. Vex read it and felt his fear growing with every word. Humans were apex predators from a death world. Their planet had extreme weather, dangerous animals, and deadly diseases. But humans had survived and thrived. They were persistence hunters. They could track prey for days without stopping. They rarely gave up once they set a goal. Their history was filled with wars, thousands of years of conflict. They had developed weapons that could destroy planets, nuclear bombs, biological weapons, chemical weapons. They were very good at killing, but the most important part of the file was highlighted in red. A warning that had been added by the Galactic Union itself. Warning: Human protective instincts toward offspring are extreme. When human children are threatened, human adults enter a psychological state that overrides normal survival instincts and rational thinking. They become singularly focused on recovering their young. Historical analysis shows that humans will sacrifice themselves, their resources, and even their civilization to protect children. Under no circumstances should human children be taken, harmed, or threatened. Below that were examples. Case studies from human history. A mother who lifted a car to save her trapped child. A father who ran into a burning building to rescue his daughter. Soldiers who fought impossible battles to save children they did not even know. And then there were the examples from space. 3 different alien species had tried to take human children in the past. The first species tried to negotiate and return the child after being caught. The human response was to destroy their entire fleet anyway as punishment. The second species tried to hide the children and demand ransom. The humans tracked them down across 3 star systems and killed every single member of that pirate group. The third species actually harmed a human child. That species no longer existed. Beck stood up from his chair. His legs felt weak. He walked to the window and looked out at the stars. Somewhere out there, 200 human warships were coming for him. Coming for his crew. Coming to take back what he had stolen. "Captain, what do we do?" Zal asked quietly. Bex thought about his options. He could run. But where would he go? The humans would follow him anywhere. He could fight. But his ship was a cargo vessel with minimal weapons. He would last maybe 5 minutes against a single human warship. Against 200, he would last seconds. His only real option was to do exactly what Admiral Korth had said. Go to the Union Station. Give them the child. Hope that the humans would accept that and not destroy him anyway. Set course for the coordinates Admiral Korth sent us, Vex said. Maximum speed. Captain, we cannot reach the station before the humans intercept us, Zal said. We are too slow, Vex nodded. He had expected that. His ship was built for carrying cargo, not running away from warships. Then we need to contact them directly. Open a channel on all frequencies. Broadcast to everyone in this sector. I want the humans to hear what I have to say. Zal opened the channel. You are broadcasting, Captain. Vex took a deep breath. This might be the most important thing he ever said. His life and the lives of his crew depended on it. This is Captain Vexnari of the Krellian vessel KV-7734. I am sending this message to the human fleet. I understand that I have made a terrible mistake. I took a human child from Earth. I did not know she was human. My database was not updated. But that does not matter. I have done wrong. He paused, trying to find the right words. The child is safe. She is unharmed. We have not hurt her. I am heading to Galactic Union Station Delta 7 to turn her over to the authorities. They will return her to you. I am asking you to please allow me to do this. I am asking you to please not destroy my ship and crew. We are not warriors. We are collectors. We made a mistake. A terrible mistake. But we are trying to fix it. He ended the transmission. The bridge was silent. Everyone was waiting to see what would happen. They did not have to wait long. Within seconds, a response came. The voice was cold and angry. It was the voice of someone who was barely controlling their rage. This is Commander Ryan Harrison of the Earth Defense Force. I am the father of Katie Harrison, the child you took. I do not care about your database. I do not care about your intentions. I do not care about your destination. You have my daughter. You will stop your ship right now. You will prepare to return her to me personally. You have 5 minutes to comply. After that, we will disable your vessel and take her by force. Vex felt his blood turn to ice. The child's own father was out there, leading the fleet, coming to get his daughter back. This was worse than Vex had imagined. Much worse. Commander Ryan Harrison stood on the bridge of the flagship Retribution. Around him, displays showed the positions of 200 human warships. They were spread out in a wide formation, surrounding the area where the Krellian ship would soon appear. Ryan's hands were clenched into fists. He wanted to hit something. He wanted to scream. But he forced himself to stay calm. Katie needed him to be smart, not angry. Admiral Jacob stood next to him, watching the same displays. The older man had been in many battles. He had seen many things in his career, but even he looked tense now. The alien captain says he will surrender, Jacob said. He says the child is safe. Do you believe him? Ryan did not answer for a moment. He was thinking about Katie. Was she scared? Was she crying? Was she hurt? I do not care what he says, Ryan finally replied. I need to see her with my own eyes. I need to hold her and know she is safe. Jacob nodded. He understood. He had children too. If someone had taken his kids, he would feel the same way. Sir, the Krellian ship is dropping out of hyperspace, the tactical officer announced. They are coming to a full stop. No weapons powered. No shields active. They are completely defenseless. On the main screen, the alien ship appeared. It was large and bulky, designed for carrying cargo. It looked harmless. But Ryan knew that somewhere inside that ship his daughter was trapped and scared. All ships maintain position, Jacob ordered. Weapons ready, but do not fire unless I give the order. We are getting that child back safely. Ryan turned to the Admiral. I want to lead the boarding team. I need to be the one who gets her. Jacob looked at him carefully. Commander, you are emotionally involved. That makes you a risk. Are you sure you can keep control? I can do this, sir. Katie needs to see a familiar face. She needs to see her father. Let me go get her, please. Jacob studied Ryan's face for a long moment. Then he nodded. Go. But take a full security team with you. And Commander, remember that we need information from these aliens. We need to know if anyone else was involved. Do not let your anger make you do something you will regret. Yes, sir. 10 minutes later, Ryan was suited up and armed. A team of 12 soldiers stood with him in the docking bay. They were all experienced fighters. They all knew what they were doing, and they all understood how important this mission was. The boarding craft launched from the Retribution and flew toward the alien ship. Through the windows, Ryan could see other human warships surrounding them. Hundreds of weapons were pointed at the Krellian vessel. If anything went wrong, that ship would be destroyed in seconds. The boarding craft attached to the alien ship's airlock. There was a hiss as the doors connected. Then the outer door opened. Stay alert, Ryan said to his team. Weapons ready, but do not fire unless necessary. They moved through the airlock and into the alien ship. The corridors were strange. The walls were the wrong color. The air smelled different. Everything felt foreign and wrong, but there was no resistance. No guards, no weapons. The corridor was empty. Then Ryan saw him. An alien standing alone in the middle of the corridor. He was tall with 6 arms and strange eyes. He had his hands raised high above his head in a gesture of surrender. I am Captain Vexnari, the alien said through a translator device. The child is in cell 7 just down this corridor. She is safe. Please do not hurt my crew. They had nothing to do with this decision. It was my mistake alone. Ryan wanted to grab the alien. He wanted to hurt him for taking Katie. But he remembered what Admiral Jacob had said. Stay in control. Get Katie first. He pushed past the alien captain without a word. 2 soldiers stayed behind to guard Vex while Ryan and the rest of the team moved down the corridor. They found the detention area quickly. There were many cells, each one holding a different creature. Ryan saw strange beings he had never imagined. Some were small. Some were large. All of them looked scared. Cell 7. Ryan rushed to the door and opened it. Katie was curled up in the corner. Her eyes were red from crying. Her clothes were dirty. She looked small and scared and lost. Then she saw him. Her eyes went wide. For a second she did not move. Then she screamed, "Daddy!" She ran to him and threw herself into his arms. Ryan caught her and held her tight, so tight that he was afraid he might hurt her. But he could not let go. He had found her. She was safe. She was alive. I have got you, baby, he whispered into her hair. I have got you. You are safe now. Daddy is here. Katie sobbed into his shoulder. I was so scared. I did not know where I was. I wanted you and Mommy. I know. I know, sweetheart. But it is over now. We are going home. Ryan pulled back just enough to look at her. He checked her face, her arms, her legs, looking for injuries, looking for signs that they had hurt her. Did they hurt you? Did anyone touch you? Katie shook her head. No, they did not hurt me. They just put me in this room. I was scared, but they did not hurt me. Ryan felt some of his anger fade. They had not hurt her. That was something. That was important. He stood up, lifting Katie in his arms. She wrapped her arms around his neck and held on tight. He carried her out of the cell and down the corridor. Captain Vex was still standing where they had left him. He was surrounded by soldiers with weapons pointed at him. When he saw Ryan carrying Katie, he bowed his head. I am truly sorry, Vex said. I did not know. I should have updated my systems. I should have been more careful. This is my fault. Ryan stopped and looked at the alien captain. Part of him wanted to say something harsh. Part of him wanted to make this alien understand the pain he had caused. But when he looked down at Katie safe in his arms, he realized something. She was safe. That was what mattered. Revenge would not change what had happened. It would not make Katie feel better. It would just teach her that anger was more important than mercy. You are very lucky she is unharmed, Ryan said quietly. Very, very lucky. He walked past the alien captain and headed back to the boarding craft. His team followed, along with Captain Vex and several of his crew members who would be taken into custody. When they were back on the Retribution, Admiral Jacob met them in the docking bay. He saw Katie in Ryan's arms and his face relaxed with relief. Mission accomplished, Jacob said with a smile. Welcome back, young lady. Your mother is going to be very happy to see you. Katie looked at the Admiral with wide eyes. She had never seen so many strange things. Spaceships, aliens, her father in a military uniform. It was overwhelming. Can we go home now? She asked quietly. Ryan kissed her forehead. Yes, baby. We are going home right now. Admiral Jacob turned to the communications officer. Send a message to all ships. Mission successful. The child is recovered and safe. All vessels are to return to base. He then turned to another officer. And send a message to Earth. Tell Mrs. Harrison that her daughter is safe and coming home. Across the fleet, human ships began turning away. The crisis was over. The child was safe. 200 warships had jumped across the galaxy for one little girl. And they had succeeded. In the brig of the Retribution, Captain Vex sat in a cell. He was alone now, separated from his crew. He knew that he would face punishment. Maybe prison, maybe worse, but he was alive. His crew was alive. The human father could have killed him. The human fleet could have destroyed his ship. But they had shown restraint. They had shown mercy. Vex understood something now. Humans were not just dangerous because they were violent. They were dangerous because they were unpredictable. They could be kind or cruel, merciful or merciless. You never knew which you would face until it was too late. He had been lucky. Very lucky. The child had not been harmed, and that had saved his life. 3 days had passed since Katie came home. She was back in her own bed in her own room with her own toys around her. Everything looked normal. But Katie knew that things were different now. She had nightmares sometimes. In her dreams, she was back in that cold metal cage. Strange creatures were around her. She could not find her parents. When she woke up from these dreams, she would cry out and her mother or father would come running. Her mother, Jenny, had not left her side since she came home. She held Katie constantly. She checked on her every few minutes. She was afraid to let Katie out of her sight. Her father, Ryan, had taken time off from his military job. He stayed home with them. He read Katie stories. He played games with her. He held her when she had nightmares and told her she was safe. Slowly, Katie started to feel better. The nightmares came less often. She started playing with her toys again. She started smiling again. One evening, Ryan was tucking Katie into bed. It was their routine now. He would read her a story, then tuck her in, then sit with her until she fell asleep. Daddy, Katie said as he pulled the blanket up to her chin. Yes, sweetheart. The aliens who took me. They said they did not know I was special. They said they made a mistake. Ryan sat down on the edge of her bed. That is true. They did not know who you were. Their computers were old and did not have the right information. But you said I am special. Am I special? Ryan smiled and brushed her hair back from her face. You are special to me and your mom. To us, you are the most special person in the whole universe. Katie thought about this for a moment. Are there more aliens out there? Good ones? Yes, most aliens are good. Most of them would never hurt you. The ones who took you just made a mistake. A big mistake, but they did not want to hurt you. And if bad aliens try to take me again, you will come get me? Ryan leaned down and kissed her forehead. Every single time. No matter where you are, no matter how far away, if you are ever in danger, I will come for you. I promise, Katie smiled. She felt safe now. I love you, Daddy. I love you too, baby. More than all the stars in the sky. Katie closed her eyes and went to sleep. Ryan sat there for a while, watching her breathe. She looked so peaceful now, so safe, so normal. But Ryan knew that things were not normal. He knew things that Katie did not know yet. Things about the universe. Things about aliens. Things about what humans could do when pushed too far. Far away in space at the Galactic Union headquarters, things were very busy. The incident with Katie had caused a lot of problems. Meetings were being held. Reports were being written. Decisions were being made. Admiral Korth sat in his office, finishing his final report. He had interviewed everyone involved. He had reviewed all the data. Now he had to write his conclusions. He typed slowly, choosing his words carefully. This report would be read by leaders across the galaxy. It would be used to update policies. It would be attached to the human file permanently. At the end of his report, Korth added a special section. A warning. He wanted to make sure that what happened to Captain Vex would never happen again. He wrote, "To any species reading this file, humans are classified as a Tier 1 protective species for very good reasons. Their attachment to their children is stronger than most species can understand. It overrides their survival instincts. It overrides their rational thinking. When human children are threatened, human adults will do anything to protect them or get them back. If you encounter humans in space, treat them with respect. Trade with them fairly. Build friendships with them carefully. But never ever threaten their children, because if you do, you will discover why we keep them classified as the most dangerous species in the galaxy." Korth read over what he had written. Then he added one more line, a line that other species had added to the file over the years. Species who had learned the hard way, they do not stop. They do not forgive. They do not forget. And they will find you. Korth sent the report to the central database. Within hours, every space station, every ship, and every government in the galaxy would receive an updated warning about humans. The warning would be clear. The warning would be strong. And hopefully no one would ever make the same mistake as Captain Vex again. Speaking of Captain Vex, he was currently sitting in a cell on a Galactic Union prison station. He had been tried and convicted quickly. The evidence against him was clear. He had taken a protected species. He had violated galactic law. His sentence was 10 years in prison. It could have been worse. Much worse. The fact that he had surrendered immediately, and that the child was unharmed, had worked in his favor. His crew had been released after questioning. They had not known about the mistake. They had just been following orders. The Galactic Union decided they were not guilty, but Vex had to pay for what he had done. 10 years away from his family. 10 years to think about his mistake. 10 years to remember the face of that scared little girl in the cage. The other creatures who had been in the cages were being returned to their home planets. The Galactic Union was making sure they got home safely. It was the least they could do. The Krellian Empire had issued a formal apology to Earth. They had paid compensation to the Harrison family. They had promised to update all their databases immediately. They did not want this to happen again. The human response had scared them. 200 warships mobilizing in 3 hours, crossing the galaxy without hesitation, ready to destroy anyone who stood in their way. All for one child. It was impressive and terrifying. Every species in the galaxy now understood. Humans were not the strongest. They were not the most advanced. They did not have the best technology or the biggest empire, but when it came to protecting their children, they were absolutely unstoppable. You could fight humans in a war. You could negotiate with them over trade. You could compete with them for resources. But you could not take their children. That was the one line you did not cross. Back on Earth, life slowly returned to normal for the Harrison family. Katie went back to school. She told her friends she had been sick, and that was why she missed a few days. Her friends believed her. They did not know the truth. Nobody knew the truth except a few people in the government. The general public still did not know that aliens existed. The government wanted to keep it that way for now. They said humanity was not ready yet. Maybe someday, but not yet. Ryan went back to work at the military base. But things were different now. He had seen what humanity could do when pushed. He had seen 200 warships launch without question. He had seen thousands of people drop everything to search for one child. It made him proud to be human. It made him proud to be a father. And it made him grateful that Katie was safe. Jenny had been the most affected by what happened. She had nightmares, too. She would wake up in the middle of the night and run to Katie's room to make sure she was still there. She could not shake the fear that it might happen again. But slowly, she was getting better. With time and help from a therapist, She was learning to feel safe again. She was learning to trust that Katie would be okay. One Saturday morning, Katie was playing in the backyard again. Ryan and Jenny watched from the kitchen window. They were both nervous. This was the first time Katie had played in the backyard since the incident, but Katie seemed fine. She was building another fort with sticks and leaves. She was singing to herself. She looked happy. "She's going to be okay," Ryan said, putting his arm around Jenny. Jenny leaned against him. "I know she is strong. Stronger than I thought." They stood there watching their daughter play. The sun was shining. Birds were singing. It was a beautiful day, a normal day, but they both knew that normalcy was fragile. They knew that there were dangers out there that most people could not imagine. They knew that the universe was bigger and stranger than anyone realized. But they also knew something else. They knew that if anything ever threatened Katie again, the entire human race would come to her rescue. Not because she was special to the world, but because protecting children was what humans did. It was who they were, and that was a good thing to know. 6 months had passed since Katie's abduction. Life had returned to a comfortable rhythm for the Harrison family. Katie was doing well in school. She had stopped having nightmares. She was playing with her friends again. She was happy. But the incident had changed things in ways that most people on Earth did not know about. In secret government facilities around the world, new policies were being created. New weapons were being built. New ships were being designed. The governments of Earth had learned an important lesson. They needed to be ready. They needed to be able to protect their people. They needed to make sure that what happened to Katie would never happen to another child. Admiral Jacob sat in a meeting room with other military leaders from different countries. They were discussing Earth's future relationship with the galactic community. "The Katie Harrison incident has shown us something important," Jacob said. "We cannot rely on alien laws to protect us. We need to be able to protect ourselves. We need a stronger fleet, better weapons, better training." A general from China nodded. "I agree. But we also need to be careful. We do not want to appear aggressive to the galactic community. They might see a military buildup as a threat." A woman from the European Union spoke up. "Let them see it as a threat. We have earned respect through our response to the abduction. The entire galaxy knows now that we protect our children. We should build on that reputation." Jacob looked around the table. Every person there had the same determination in their eyes. They all agreed. Earth needed to be strong. Earth needed to be ready. "Then we are in agreement," Jacob said. "We increase our military capacity. We train more personnel. We build more ships. And we make it very clear to the galaxy that Earth is not to be trifled with." Everyone around the table nodded. Plans were made. Budgets were approved. Within months, Earth's military would double in size. Within years, it would rival some of the major powers in the galaxy. Meanwhile, in the Galactic Union, the Katie Harrison incident had become famous. Every species knew about it. Every captain learned about it in training. Every politician discussed it in meetings. The incident had proven something that many aliens had suspected, but not fully understood. Humans were extremely protective, not just of their own families, not just of their own communities, but of all human children everywhere. A researcher at a galactic university had studied the incident carefully. She was a Tyrellian named Dr. Sola. She specialized in studying different species and their behaviors. She had written a paper about humans and their protective instincts. In her paper, Dr. Sola explained that humans evolved on a dangerous planet. Their world was full of predators, diseases, and harsh weather. Human children were vulnerable for many years. They needed constant protection. Because of this, humans developed very strong protective instincts. Parents would die to protect their children. Communities would fight to protect all children, even those who were not related to them. It was built into their biology. It was part of what made them human. Dr. Sola's paper became required reading for anyone who worked with humans. Diplomats read it, traders read it, military officers read it. Everyone who might encounter humans needed to understand this fundamental truth about them. The paper ended with a simple warning. If you value your life and the lives of those around you, never threaten a human child. The response will be swift, overwhelming, and without mercy. Back on Earth, Ryan had been promoted. His actions during the Katie rescue mission had earned him recognition. He was now a commander with more responsibility. He trained new soldiers. He taught them about space combat. He prepared them for future missions. But Ryan did not think of himself as a hero. He had just done what any parent would do. He had gone to save his daughter. Nothing special, nothing extraordinary, just a father doing his duty. One day, Ryan was called to meet with some government officials. They wanted to talk to him about his experience. They wanted to learn from what had happened. The officials sat across from him in a conference room. They asked him questions. How did he feel when he learned Katie was taken? What was he thinking during the pursuit? What would he have done if the aliens had refused to surrender? Ryan answered honestly. He told them about the fear, the anger, the determination. He told them that he would have done anything to get Katie back. Absolutely anything. One of the officials, an older woman named Dr. Helen, leaned forward. Commander Harrison, do you think your response was unusual? Or do you think other parents would have felt the same way? Ryan did not have to think about his answer. Every parent would feel the same way. Every single one. If someone takes your child, nothing else matters. You get them back or you die trying. That is just how it is. Dr. Helen nodded. That is what we thought. That is what makes humanity unique. Many species care about their offspring, but humans care about all human children, not just their own. That makes you very dangerous to anyone who threatens a child. Ryan had never thought about it that way, but Dr. Helen was right. When Katie was taken, thousands of people had mobilized. People who did not know Katie, people who had never met the Harrison family. They all came to help because she was a human child, and that was enough. Is that a bad thing? Ryan asked. Dr. Helen smiled. No, Commander. It is not a bad thing. It is what makes humanity special. It is what will keep us safe in the galaxy. Other species will think twice before threatening us because they know what the response will be. At home that evening, Ryan told Jenny about the meeting. They were sitting on the couch while Katie played with her toys on the floor. They are studying us, Ryan said, trying to understand why we reacted the way we did. Jenny watched Katie playing. It is not complicated. She is our daughter. What else were we supposed to do? That is exactly what I told them, Ryan said with a smile. Katie looked up from her toys. Daddy, can we go to the park tomorrow? Of course, sweetheart. We can go wherever you want. Katie smiled and went back to playing. She was completely recovered now. The abduction was just a bad memory. She was moving forward with her life. Ryan and Jenny were moving forward too, but they were different now. They knew things about the universe that most people did not know. They knew about aliens. They knew about the dangers that existed beyond Earth. They knew how fragile safety could be. But they also knew something else. They knew that humanity had their back. They knew that if something bad happened again, the entire human race would respond. Not just the military. Not just the government, everyone. That was the human way. Protect the children. All of them, always. Years passed. Katie grew up. She went to high school. She went to college. She lived a normal life. But she never forgot what happened to her when she was 7 years old. When Katie was 25, she joined the military. Not because she wanted revenge. Not because she was angry. But because she wanted to protect other children. She wanted to make sure that what happened to her would never happen to anyone else. She became a pilot. She trained hard. She learned to fly the newest and fastest ships. She became very good at her job. Her father, now a general, attended her graduation from flight school. He was so proud of her. She had taken something terrible and turned it into motivation to help others. You know, when you were taken, I thought my world was ending, Ryan told her after the ceremony. But look at you now. You are strong. You are brave. You turned your fear into strength, Katie hugged her father. You taught me to be brave. You came for me when I needed you. Now I want to do the same for others. Ryan held his daughter tight. She was not a little girl anymore. She was a woman, a soldier, a protector. But to him, she would always be his little girl. The Katie Harrison incident became a turning point in galactic history. It was the moment when every species in the galaxy understood that humanity was not to be trifled with. It was the moment when Earth went from being a new member of the galactic community to being a respected power. No one ever tried to take a human child again. The risk was too great. The consequences too severe. Humans had made their point very clear. And in quiet corners of the galaxy, in bars and meeting rooms and trading posts, aliens would tell the story. The story of the foolish captain who took a human child. The story of how 200 warships appeared within hours. The story of how humanity showed the galaxy what they were capable of when their children were threatened. The story always ended the same way. With a warning. With advice. With a simple truth that every species needed to remember. Do not take their children. Do not threaten their children. Do not harm their children. Because if you do, you will face something that no weapon can stop. You will face something that no army can defeat. You will face the wrath of humanity protecting its young. And nothing in the universe is more dangerous than that.